Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. What do you think of these sunglasses? I just found them in the sea the other day and they literally are rose tinted glasses. Everything looks wonderful through them. I don't know, keepers or not, you tell me. Today's video is all about this photographer's vest, photographer's vests in general. I made a video a few years ago, a joke video. It's a complete waste of time and pointless in the extreme. Forgot about it, but someone watched it the other day and they commented on that video saying, it's very funny. I don't think it actually was that funny. Was it? I laughed a lot while I was making it, but they commented saying it's like, what, but actually how do you use them and what can you fit into them? And this person was living in a remote part of Japan and was really interested to know how the vest worked. So I felt bad ever since, which is why I'm making this video. Now, these things have been the butt of many jokes over the last few decades. And I don't quite understood why. They attracted some pretty bizarre nicknames, to be perfectly honest. Maybe you could let me know your thoughts about where, if you know, you know. Where did they get the nickname from? Where did it originate? I wonder if it was the photography show, when a lot of sort of overzealous amateurs started wearing them to a photography trade show, carrying every single bit of camera equipment that they had and kind of bumping into everyone and kind of upsetting everybody. I wonder if that's when it was. You tell me what you think. But I've used them. They're great tools for certain photography missions, not for every photography mission, because back in the day, actually, these were very popular and you would find a lot of professional photographers wearing them all day, every day, less so these days. I still find them useful on occasion. I'll talk about how and when I use them. So the first example would be news, documentary, reportage, that kind of thing. Wonderful. If you're on your feet, you're running around, you're kind of not wanting to leave bags behind, you want to be completely self-contained, be able to have everything that you need for a day's shooting all contained on you and be able to kind of move quickly, then these are perfect for that. The next example I would give is something like an event covering, let's say, a sporting event or something like that, where you're on your feet and you're going from location to location. You don't want to be spreading out with equipment. You want to be completely self-contained again. That's often how I find myself using something like this these days. The next example would be anywhere where you're off on your own and you just got to carry some equipment, like a landscape photography mission. Hello, it's Roy. Okay, where was I? So, yeah, landscape, seascape, anywhere where you're off on your own, taking pictures. You don't worry. You're not worried about what you look like because you're not out you're not amongst the public. You're just wandering over a lonely hill on your own. Kind of, it's part of your clothing, keeps you warm as well. It's kind of fantastic for that kind of thing. Obviously, you're not weatherproof, so if it's going to rain, you're going to need a poncho or a waterproof cover of some description, a jacket. Worth bearing in mind. Particularly useful for seascape photography, or if you're somewhere where you just don't want to put stuff down because it's going to get damaged or wet or sandy or stolen by a penguin or anything like that. Seascape photography is another great example of how I used it very recently. If you've watched one of my videos, you would see that I was out shooting with filters, shooting long exposures, and I had a bag with me and I put that bag down and very nearly lost it from an incoming tide. Worth thinking about. When not to use it. Okay, no, one more thing. If you're covering an event like a sporting event, the wonderful thing with that is it identifies you as the photographer, as the official photographer, maybe as the official professional photographer. That's cool because people can see you, they don't worry about you being there, they don't worry about you taking pictures, and it really fits with the identity really well. On the flip side of that, if you're somewhere where you don't really want to be identified as a photographer, something like this is a little bit too shouty, a little bit too easy for people to identify. Couple this with a couple of big cameras and you stick out like crazy. So anything where, in a crowded environment, you don't want to be wearing one of these things because you're just like pushing through, like Mr. Jello Man, pushing people out of the way with your big overstuffed pockets of lenses and all of that stuff. Not cool. But anywhere that is sensitive to having photographers around, if you want to be a bit more discreet, maybe not perfect, to be perfectly honest. So there are a lot of occasions where I would quite like to use one of these things, but I just won't because I think it's just a bit too much of a statement, put it that way. Right. What actually have we got here? Well, this is the Domke vest. There are various other ones that I've used over the years. But I think they're sort of reasonably standard. What I would say is if you're thinking about one of these things, make sure you get the right size. If you get one that's too big, by the time you pack it out, it will kind of be dragging around the ground like some kind of crazy Natchgund and won't be particularly elegant. And if it's too small, you won't be able to fit enough stuff in the pockets because it will be too constrained. So you need to get the fit right. I think this is a medium. I'm kind of, you know, sort of medium-sized, medium-large-sized human. 6 feet tall, something like that, I don't know, on a good day. Right, so we've got pockets all over it. Okay, so I will talk you through how I use the different pockets, and then I'll show you how I use the different pockets. So we have these aerated shoulders up here, which are nice and kind of help the grip of the cameras. We have inside, we have a couple of almost like, I think they used to call them poacher's pockets, which are kind of like big, baggy inside things, which would be great for a pheasant if you have one. I'm not a poacher, so I don't have a pheasant, but, you know, what could you replace your pheasant with? Let's say a rolled up copy of the Daily Telegraph would go in there. Let's not go back to the old video that I made, which was absurd. Let's keep it on track. So you have those big pockets inside, and you have a really nice little zippered pocket up here for a wallet or anything like that. Maybe even your rose-tinted sunglasses could go in there. Look, perfect. Nice zip at the front, and then a press stud to hold everything constrained. You do feel like you're kind of meaning business when you put this on. At the back, you have these two other big flappy pockets back here, which are big and will hold lenses, and those pockets inside will hold lenses as well as a pheasant. But I typically don't use them like that because I find them all a little bit kind of bulbous and precarious, and like a lens rocking around in those big pockets just feels a little bit too cumbersome. So at the back, I would typically use it for like this Lee filter pouch, ideal, that would go in the back. Notebook, you could even put an iPad, anything that's kind of flat and you're just gonna not worry about feeling it bumping into you. Because you kind of need to pack these things intelligently. The top pockets up here are just pretty simple. I've got a pen in here. And you want to put things that you want to access often but aren't too heavy. So memory card wallets maybe, batteries, triggers. Could even put a flash gun. Maybe even, you know, it'd be kind of perfect for sort of a pocket camera. It's a Canon G7X, could easily hide in there. And then if you need to pull it out, it's really readily available. You know, it's kind of ideal. One other thing that I should mention, I guess, is that these things are great for when you're traveling. If you're traveling on an aeroplane and you need to put some extra, because this is kind of just a jacket, so you can put bits and pieces in and you can carry it onto the aeroplane. The bottom pockets here are what I use for storing lenses. So typically, let's talk about an event. If I was shooting a sporting event, I would have two cameras. I would typically have one on one shoulder with a wide angle lens, depending on the event, obviously. And then another camera with a long lens. Let's say on this occasion we've got 70 to 200. I might have another longer lens with me if I'm shooting something, which would be on a monopod. But let's talk what we've got here. So I would then probably want something slightly longer as well as that 70 to 200. You don't want to overpack these things. So what we've got here is the RF 100 to 400, and that would fit really nicely into this outer pocket. And it velcros up, easy to access. It's going to stay in there. It's not going to come flying out. Inside this pocket, there is another very similar pocket. So you could also put it in there and it might be a little bit more secure. And the closer you can get those heavy lenses to your body, to your hip, the better, because they have less far to kind of wobble around. So we'll leave it in there for the time being. But once you've got one lens on one side, you don't really want to add too much more weight. So, you know, you might be able to sort of put your mobile phone in over the top rather than stack another lens, let's say. This side, let's say you've got a standard zoom that you want to take as well. You again have double pockets. Again, that would probably go really nice on the inside there. And I guess you could even go for something like a prime, put that in over the top. It starts to feel too unwieldy, and everyone has to work this out for themselves, that you want these things to be packed out just right. You don't want to be unwieldy and cumbersome because you will sort of grow to hate them. So here we've got standard zoom, extra long lens, we've got our two cameras, we've got our G7X in the top in case we need to pull that out. What could we have up here? Maybe a little flash gun, maybe a trigger. In fact, These things are more likely what I would be carrying, which are remote triggers for a camera if I need them. You put a memory card wallet, extra batteries, and then you'd be pretty much done, I think. I wouldn't want to be carrying much more than this. And with this kind of pack out, I feel like I could probably stay on my feet all day and cover an event. And this is typically how I would use it, not any more stuff. I suppose you might put an iPad if you're into that kind of thing, stuff it in somewhere. But this is kind of about as far as it would go, I think. Do let me know in the comments if you have any stories about photographers' vests, because I'd be interested to hear, because they do attract that kind of, they've got some weird nicknames and they do attract kind of some funny backstories, let's put it that way. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.